Hello and welcome inside the UC Health Training Center for the first ever edition of Broncos Country Connected. I'm Alexis Perry. Every Tuesday, Broncos Broadcast Productions and Denver 7 will be teaming up to give you an exclusive look inside the Denver Broncos Football Club. From behind-the-scenes footage of practices and games to expert analysis from some of your favorite Broncos, we're here to keep you connected to your Broncos year-round. Tonight, we'll look back at the Broncos' first road trip to Minnesota. Nick Rothschild shares how one player's deep ties to the Milwaukee Bucks is inspiring his play this season. And we will celebrate Steve Atwater's career, which now lives on forever in Canton. But first, after 2 weeks of training camp here at the UC Health Training Center, the Broncos hit the road for joint practices with the Minnesota Vikings, which doubled as a homecoming of sorts for Broncos general manager George Paton. Before he took the job here in Denver, Paton spent 14 years in Minnesota as the director of player personnel and then assistant GM. The relationships he built over that time proved to be beneficial last week as Vikings GM Rick Spielman and head coach Mike Zimmer opened their facilities to Paton's new team.
Oh, it's been special just being back here and with the great people in this organization, just being able to see a lot of people I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to, and just a lot of memories. When I was here with the Vikings, it was all about the people and trying to get the best people and empowering them to do their job the best. And so that's what I've tried to incorporate with the Broncos. It's all about the people, and I think we'll get the best out of them if we can empower them.
As an evaluator, what are some of the benefits of joint practices?
Well, the benefits is we've been practicing against each other, for the last couple of weeks, and that gets old. Guys get sick of playing against each other. You see some skirmishes, so it's just good to see some new faces practicing against players you don't know, schemes you don't know, and I just think it brings out the most competition with both teams. So I think it's really important.
Well, in terms of the quarterback competition, and of course Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock out here, what's impressing you about what you've seen?
These guys just don't get fazed. They don't listen to all the noise. They're competing. They're playing really well, some days better than others, and I think it's kind of going back and forth. So just love the competition. They're embracing it, and I think they're both playing really well.
Just a couple weeks into your first training camp as the general manager of the Denver Broncos. So that means this is kind of your first official in-depth, in-person look at your first draft class. Who are some of the rookies that have been standing out to you?
Just thinking of one, Quinn Miners, is an interesting guy. Did not play football last year, at Wisconsin Whitewater. He never played center until the Senior Bowl, and then he comes in the NFL and he's playing center. He has a really tough job. He's attacking it every day, and just the way he's performed despite never playing a position, despite going from Division III to the NFL. So we have a lot of impressive rookies, but he's really impressed me.
The vets are highly impressed by Pat Surtain II. What have you seen from him? It seems like of all the rookies, he looks the least like a rookie.
Well, he's unflappable, really. If he gets beat, he just moves on. He doesn't get beat very often. I've said this a number of times. He's rarely stressed. A lot of rookies panic. They hold, especially a corner. They're going to grab. They're going to hold. This guy looks like he's an 8-year, 10-year vet, the way he plays. And part of that's, his background with his father being an all-pro player, great mother, great family, great college coach in Nick Saban. So, he walks on the field. He acts like he's been here and he belongs.
Overall, what is the greatest area of growth that you've seen over the last 2 weeks, and what's something that you hope to see this team continue to improve upon?
I just think the chemistry. I think they're developing chemistry. We had 35 maybe new players in this team, and just the chemistry. I think this team likes each other. I think they like to work, as I've mentioned before, and this team really wants to win, and I think they have a chance to be good. So I would say the chemistry and just getting to know each other, and this trip helps. Going away with your teammates, being in a hotel together, I think it's really been a great bonding experience.
When I asked if there was added incentive for his Broncos to outshine his former team in practices and on game day, Paton said at this point, it's really just about getting better. Here's what getting better in Minnesota looked like.
Denver dressed in their white road uniforms, white tops, white pants with blue helmets. The Vikings in their home purples with white pants. Drew Lock walks onto the field for the first time. Denver moves left to right, 13:35 left in a scoreless first quarter. Two tight ends set in a wing right, single receiver left as Lock is under center. The handoff running left. This is going to be Williams. Williams tries to step outside, runs to a tackle, spins his way into the end zone. Flush now, backs into the end zone. Penalty flag thrown. If this is a hold, this will be a safety. Loads it up, home run ball, middle of the field. He's got an open receiver there. This is KJ Hamler with a somersault into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver. Third down and 5, shotgun time, 4-man rush. Browning throws a pass right side, pass is picked off. This is going to be a house call, and welcome to the NFL, Patrick Surtain.
Coming up after the break, Lionel Bienvenu, Troy Rank, and Ryan Harris break down the Broncos' preseason victory over the Vikings. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Broncos Country Connected. When it comes to successful road trips, Denver's first of the season couldn't have unfolded much better. After 2 constructive joint practices with the Vikings, the Broncos executed their game plan nearly perfectly en route to a 33-6 victory on Saturday. For more on the win over the Vikings, here's Denver 7's Lionel Bienvenu and Troy Rank alongside Super Bowl 50 champion Ryan Harris.
All of Broncos country wants to know, who's the man in the quest for QB1? Ryan, after a couple of weeks of training camp, 1 preseason game, Vic says Teddy and Drew are even Steven. What do you say?
I think he's giving you a little bit of a fib there. It was great performance by both quarterbacks, and in that way, it was even to where you couldn't discern who made a mistake, who didn't follow directions. Both quarterbacks did well. Both quarterbacks did well in pressure situations, and that's why it's gotten even closer after this first game against the Vikings.
And Troy, after I saw Drew Lock's performance, I was like, wow, there it is. He's the man. He just won the job. And then Teddy came in, and he played well, too. He's not going away quietly.
No, Drew needed to play well because I've had Teddy all of camp slightly ahead. So if Drew gets first shot and doesn't play well, he could have been out of it. But now he's sent the message, Lionel, he's not going anywhere. But here's the irony. The Broncos quarterbacks in Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater had the 2 highest quarterback ratings of the NFL. So one guy can't distance himself. So I like what I saw, Lionel, but really for me, I still give a slight edge to Teddy, but it's way more open than it was a week before that game.
All right, Ryan, we saw the big plays. Lock to Hamler, touchdown. Lock to Judy, Teddy to Trinity, TB to TB for the TD. It was glorious, but little things count, right? Yeah. What was the one little thing you saw in this game that gives you hope?
Well, first it was that KJ Hamler touchdown. He actually told KJ Hamler before the game, hey, if that safety comes down, I'm going to hit you over top. That's anticipating the defense. Also, in the first play of the second quarter, he stood in the pocket, Drew Lock, on 3rd and 5 and delivered a strike to Jerry Jeudy, which kept him on schedule for the eventual score. That's a big-time situation, something we hadn't seen Drew Lock do, sitting in that pocket, taking a blow, but he trusted the offense, and he trusted Jerry Jeudy would be open, and he was rewarded.
Now, Troy, you saw something Saturday that gives you real hope for this offense. A different scheme for when Drew is in and when Teddy is in.
Yeah, I've been asking Coach Fangio about this. When are you going to tailor the offense to the strengths of the quarterbacks? Because they really don't match each other, frankly. One is more athletic with a bigger arm. The other is more conservative with more of the check down. But what I saw with Drew Lock in the game is they went heavy personnel. He was only in the shotgun 5 times in 20 snaps. He is really good in play action, and you saw that. Then when Teddy was in the game, he was in shotgun 7 times out of 13 snaps. That tells you, Lionel, they trust him pre-snap, post-snap. But these are 2 different quarterbacks, and if they're going to play it this way, you have to tailor the offense to their strength. I like the play action for Drew Lock.
All right, the one thing I saw was the running of Javonte Williams, guys. Power, bowling ball, battering ram, able to create space. That dude's going to make a difference in the running game this season. All right, that is done, y'all. Let's look ahead now. Final week of training camp, 2nd preseason game coming up. We flip the quarterbacks. Teddy gets a start this week, Ryan. What do you see happening Saturday night in Seattle?
Well, they're going to want to start fast, especially in Seattle. Even in preseason games, you cannot hear a thing on the field in Seattle. One of the things coaches want to see, too, can you handle a 2-minute drill? Can you get no-huddle offense going? And especially with Teddy being the veteran quarterback, I anticipate seeing some up-tempo work early in the game to get guys going and to practice being in a hostile environment.
Troy, what do you see?
Well, he needs to play well because Drew has now closed the gap and also deal with playing against a better defense. No disrespect to the Vikings, but those were second and third stringers. We're going to see a few more first stringers. Now he'll probably have his whole line back with Reisner and Bowles playing, but Teddy needs to play well because Drew against second and third stringers, Lionel, he's going to play well.
Yeah.
So the pressure now is on Teddy to put his foot down to take this job.
All right, guys. Great stuff. Now look, every week here on Broncos Country Connected, sports anchor Nick Rothschild will bring us the player's perspective, the man behind the face mask. Not X's and O's or football talk so much, but the personalities, what drives them, what's their passion. This week, Nick sat down with Shelby Harris, one of the most likable and lovable players on the team. It seems Shelby was all about basketball this summer.
I was low-key speechless for a while.
What in the world could make one of football's best talkers
I'm the best. We the best.
speechless?
I was just filled with so much happy emotion and just, just so proud. And
The Milwaukee Bucks.
It's over. The Bucks have done it.
I don't mean to sound cheesy, but I'm from Wisconsin.
Put me with you when the Bucks won Game 6.
So I'm just at home. Me and my wife and the kids are all watching it. And I'm over here like hopping around, jumping, like going crazy. And then, those final things, I'm sitting there with my shirt over my eyes, and then when the clock hit 0, start jumping around, popped a bottle of champagne like I was a champion.
Makes perfect sense. The man with the best hands on the team would be a big basketball fan.
I got to prove to everyone I have the best hands on the team. That's nice. I've been saying that for a while now. It's been 50 years without a championship. I've been around for a bunch of crappy teams. It's been a long journey, being a Bucks fan.
The Bucks became an avatar for his own career, underlined by perseverance.
That's what I loved about that Bucks team was the resiliency. You could never give up on that team.
However, Shelby's connection to Milwaukee runs deeper than hoops.
Milwaukee, it's struggling right now. And so, with the Bucks, winning the championship, and it really brought everyone together.
Does that help you feel more connected to sports fans when you yourself kind of feel that passion sweep over you?
Man, it's funny. I'm like, man, this is what fans feel. But no, it's an understandable feeling. It's just like you put so much love and just so much passion into your team.
We stumble, we fall, get back up, stand tall. No matter what comes, we don't give up.
From stuffing quarterbacks to supporting the Bucks, Shelby Harris, proving there's a little sports fan in all of us.
And no, it ain't easy to get up when you're down. No, it ain't easy, but this is war.
Shelby Harris.
Still to come on Broncos Country Connected, legendary Broncos safety Steve Atwater finally took his rightful place among NFL greats in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll relive his gold jacket-worthy career next. Welcome back to Broncos Country Connected. Thinking back on Steve Atwater's Super Bowl 32 performance, we remember the big hits, the strip sack, and of course the general lack of regard for his own body as number 27 turned himself into a human wrecking ball before hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. But Atwater's Hall of Fame career began many years before helping this franchise win its first Super Bowl. Here's a small sampling of Steve Atwater, The Road to Canton, debuting tomorrow night.
Fortunately, I came into a great environment, with coaches and players who were accepting and, just a positive attitude, an owner who, provided anything that the team needed to win because he wanted to win.
Steve did a lot of things in his career.
When I look back at his career, one of the things that I think that he treasures the most, and I know I treasure the most, is Super Bowl 32. In that game, if it wouldn't have been for Terrell Davis, I think you would have had the MVP trophy because you played that well. And I'll always remember you for that.
You know, he is the Denver Broncos. He's in that special group with John Elway and a handful of others that took us to the first Lombardi, then delivered one 12 months later.
I was impressed by the fact that he was humble. He had that kind of sense of, all right, I know I'm good, but I also know that I'm only as good kind of as my last play.
There wasn't any time that you can turn the film on and see 27 not hustling to the ball.
Steve was always on top of the game. The way he was on the practice field, the way he was off the field, how he is with his family. That is how you be professional, period, in life, and I really took a lot of those things from him.
He played exceptional in 97 and 98 in all the playoff games. And I think that's why people, when they go back and look at Steve, they go, oh my God, why wasn't he in years ago?
Come on! No freaking way, man. That sounds like a David Baker knock. It was an amazing moment. And I'm so happy that my wife and Mac and my son, they were all there to celebrate it with me.
It was really overwhelming. I think there were so many feelings going on at the same time. Like the look on his face, he was so extraordinarily happy.
He's a great football player, unbelievable football player. But in addition to that, he's a great guy.
You talk about somebody that cares about people, he would give anybody the shirt off his back.
Being able to see the impact he's had on people, had on the game, and it's just so great. So I'm just so proud of him, and I think he's so deserving of this, and just very excited to be celebrating him.
They get down and stand, get up. If you gotta be up,
I always feel like a part of me is going into the Hall of Fame as he is being inducted, because I had a part in his development, and you know, the fact that he asked me to present him was an honor that, you know, it was overwhelming.
Whether it's my dad or it's my coaches or my high school friends who have supported me over the years, they're gonna feel like, dang, I had a small part to do with that, you know. For me, yeah, it's a gold jacket, it's cool, but for me that represents all the people who have poured into my life over the years.
For a deep dive into the Smiling Assassin's Hall of Fame career, tune in for part 1 of Steve Atwater, The Road to Canton, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on DenverBroncos.com, the Broncos YouTube channel, and the Broncos app on your connected TV device. Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of Broncos Country Connected. From all of us here with the Denver Broncos and Denver 7, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday.